Alright, I am back. Let's change the scene again. I've got one last one to do for today. Reinhardt one, man, I do love Reinhardt. Reinhardt is like one of the most fun heroes to play. Nothing as satisfying as bashing people's head with a big hammer. Or a small hammer if you are a tough main. But I like Reinhardt's big hammer. Overwatch. Overwatch, please. I'm still on blue. I don't know why I like it. I think I like this because it's very bright. So you can usually see it like against the sky. That's why I use this one rather than blue. Sometimes you can see the blue on some maps. But you can basically always see this one. Except on Dorado. Dorado is not the best one. So, to begin with, this is not the best point for Reinhardt. The other two you can play Reinhardt at, but on well, Rein is very... He's not great, because you've got a very big... Like, the point is very open, right? So if you contest the point, if you contest here, then they can shoot you from a lot of angles from a very long distance. If you contest up here, they can just go around and shoot you again from a very long angle from a long distance. So this point in particular is not ideal for Reinhardt, but other than that, we'll see how you do. Charging out of spawn is fine. No need to look around you yet. There's not gonna be anyone. Fire strike is fine. Play with the cover. This is okay. Doomfist is very annoying to play against with Reinhardt. Play with the cover. Don't stand in the open taking shield damage. You can stand here and not take any damage, right? Like no one in your team is behind you. Partially because your supports are playing behind cover, partially because you charge and so people could keep up with you, and partially because we've got people going on the flank. Like over here Genji and over the McCree. So right now you are shielding no one, so instead of shielding no one, play the cover, which is basically an infinite HP shield. You got one. Also it makes it more difficult for Doomfist to get at you. Like yeah, why are we playing? The point is even unlocked, right? There is no reason to be standing on the point. Hold on one second. Alright, sorry about that. I had a coughing fit. No reason to charge here as well. Like, look at what you're charging into. A Doomfist, a Moira, an Orisa, a Zarya, who's probably got charge. And you're probably not gonna kill her. You do kill her. No, you do not kill her. And you just die because long charges are basically a death sentence. Let's look at this from above rather than your perspective. So, why are we holding here, right? I want to look at this from this angle. No reason to be holding here. You could be holding here instead. You go up here. Be very careful because if the closer you are to the hole, the easier it is to get booped. I know Reinhardt has steadfast now, but if you stand here, you can get punched into the hole. You can get pulled into the hole. Like look at that. That Doomfist punches you, you go into the hole. This is not great because, like again, why are we pushing this way? Why not just push this way? There's no reason. First, you can throw a fire strike early. Secondly, you will get more cover from people shooting you from outside. And yeah, this is what I wanted to get at. Look at what you're charging into. Like, even if you pin someone, you're gonna die to everyone else. Like, yeah, you pin someone, but the entire enemy team is here. And what you've done is you've created all of this distance. I think you actually go even further. So you've created all of this distance between you and your team. Your team can no longer support you in the slightest. Like, there's no one even close from your team. Yeah, you got a pin and you did some damage, but the entire enemy team is here. So you basically isolated yourself. Like, Moira tried to follow up, but you were too far away and she couldn't. And she's probably gonna die because she's Fate. Okay, she's saved. But yeah. Too long don't read. Rein relies on teammates a lot. Rein is definitely a hero that cannot play by himself. So by putting this much distance between you and your team, you're basically destroying the fight. You guys are still contesting the point though. Your Rothog is doing a really good job of contesting. You are probably about to come back. Yeah, nice. Good fire strike. Let's look at your perspective. I'm fine with this. Just remember, you can get pulled if the Orisa pulls here. You can get pulled out of the map. But I'm fine with this because you are pushing into them. Orisa is really good when she's got space to work with. So pushing into them is the right idea. You probably want to shield here. No, keep shielding. You have very low health, but a lot of shield. Just keep shielding. Don't fire strike. You can get burst down. So you need to test clear to team. Yeah. Usually, especially if you have like Moira Lucio, you want to stay near them so that they can heal you and move you around. Right now, you are shielding, which is fine. Don't fire, like, right now, you can get burst down from, like, 200 HP to 0 immediately. Like, there's so much burst damage in the game that you can just die in less than half a second. So be careful. If you don't have armor, you now have armor, but if you don't have armor, I would advance against fire striking. Good pin. You probably can kill him. Nice. I like that pin. That was a good pin because you pinned a short distance. This was a very short pin, which means that first, you are not going away from your team. You are a little bit, but it's not a lot, a long distance. Secondly, you are not vulnerable for a long period of time, because if you charge for a long time, all of this time, you are vulnerable, right? You cannot shield, you cannot block, you cannot change your movement. If you charge here, it's less than 1 second that you... 1 second? Less than 1 second, oh my god. Less than 1 second that you're vulnerable. So, short pins are good, long pins are bad. Also, they use the window, so you probably want to stay out of line of sight. If we got Shatter, we don't need to fire strike. Save it for after you Shatter. I'm fine with this. You could have stayed behind this wall, but I'm fine with you shielding and just moving this way. And now if they push into the team, if they push into the point, you just shatter them, right? Shatter the Moira, shatter the Moira. You could have shattered the Moira there. Don't walk into your team when you're stuck. You're taking too long. Don't just hold your shield, you're doing nothing. And you wasted the shatter. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's go back and look at the team from above because I've got a lot to say. So, don't play in the open, you're pushing, this is okay. Right? We're playing in the open a little bit, but we just got punched back, so it's fine. Just try to get to cover so that you can gain health. That's fine. Then you charge the Doomfist. I'm okay with this. You kill him, nice. You stay in cover until your health comes back. Stay in this cover, like, there's no reason to walk in front of the window. A rainbow, yeah, it's a rainbow. A Rein bot, not a rainbow. But yeah, don't go in front of the window. Window is a lot of damage. Just stay here, this is safe. And look at this, right? This is what I mean. Forget the Tracer right now, look at this. Shatter this. Like, they're pushing into the point, they're using Call. Just shatter them. Instead, you walk backwards, creating... First, you are walking backwards into the open, right? Because there's no cover here. Which means that your shield is going to break, you're going to lose a lot of health. I know that Cole can get through the shield anyway. But if you weren't playing cover, then Cole cannot get through the shield. And you basically gave him all of this space for free by turning around and trying to push the Tracer. Use health. And you're playing in the open again still, which means that your shield's going to break. And you try to shatter something? I think you try to shatter the Tracer. Don't try that, because Tracer is very mobile. And this is a very, like, look at this trash. There are so many ways in which you can get fucked during this charge. You can get Doomfist Punch. You can get pulled. Like, if she had pulled right now, she could pull you into the hole. You can just charge into a fortified Orisa. You can get shot by a lot, by a Tracer. You can get shot a lot by the Zarya. Also, you are this far away from your team now. You cannot get healing from your Moira. If anything, you are forcing Moira to fade to try to get to you. Look at that, right? We force Moira to fade into the enemy team to try to heal you, which is not ideal. Oh, Lucio got the boo. You just hammered her. So, yeah, long charge bad. And pushing forward good, but long charge bad. Do I just go for the short pin? Here, the ideal thing would have been play here, right? They call this way. So you play here, this is call, you are here, when they push into point, you shatter everything. That would have been the ideal thing. If there's a Tracer on the back line, that's not your job. You are the front line, right? let the McCree, let the Roadhog, let the Lucio, let the Moira deal with the Tracer behind. You are not the one that has to deal with the Tracer. You are holding the front. If you are a Roadhog, then yeah, you can turn around and try to get the Tracer. But yeah, if you're going for pins, go for short pins, like pin this. Even this is okay, but it's still very risky. But this is fine, right? If you're here, pin this is fine. Pin like 5 meters is okay. Short pins are good because it's a lot of damage if you can get them. But if you cannot get them, you are not basically exposing yourself for very long times and ending up in bad positions. They are investing ultimates, this is good for us. Well, we use speed, which is not ideal, but kill this area, just push this area. You have beat, she's got nothing. I'm fine with this as well. You're just holding the point at this point. Just hold. Again, I really like this position. Just keep in mind that a higher ranked team will just come this way and shoot you. And if they come this way and shoot you, you have to rotate here, which means that they can just rotate the long way around, right? So the way you beat Reinhardt here is, this is a very open point. So Rein is really bad here. You can basically only hold this choke. That's all you can do, holding this choke with Reinhardt. So if they go this way, then you got to back out into the open. And even if you go here, they can shoot your team. And even if you hold here, they can maybe just go this way and shoot you for free. That's why Rein is not that good at this point. It's just very open. Imagine if we had Shadow for that. Where is he even? Oh, Artie, our Genji Blade. Illios is a bad map for Rein. Illios Well is a very bad map for Rein. Lighthouse, you can make him work. On Ruins, you can make him work, right? Because there are chokes that you can use to get value with Reinhardt. But on this map, the only choke you can actually hold is this. And maybe this, but no one will ever hold this point. Because if you're holding this, they can just come main and shoot you. So all you can do is hold this and people can just come this way instead. So Rein's very bad on this map. On the other two, on the Ruins and the Lighthouse, you have chokes that you can use. And those are pretty okay, at the very least. Good block on the hook. This is fine. You got no shield, so we should... I'm fine with you taking damage here. Remember that your health is a resource as well. If you can trade some health for letting your shield regen, it's not bad. Because unless once you are out of armor, then you don't want to take damage anymore, of course. But until you're out of armor, it may be better to let your shield regen because you got healing, right? So your healers can give you health back, but your healers cannot give you shield back. So it's okay to take some damage. Especially when the fight is already won. Like, why are we shielding? Like, we only have half a shield, and the only damage that's coming is Tracer. So you can just face tank this damage, lose a little bit of health rather than shield, let your shield recharge to full, and then Moira can just tap you a couple times and you'll be back to full health. Shield management is very important with Reinhardt. But good kill. The Tracer just basically suicide into your hammer. What I'm meaning is, there's no reason to have full health, but zero shield. Ideally, honestly, if you take this, which I believe is 200 health, or maybe, no, it's 150 health. 50, 100, I believe it's 200 actually. If you take that as health, you can play around with this being 0 and this being 100, and this being 0 and this being 100. Ideally, you want to have like 50-50, right? So you can play like, if I have 400 health, but my shield is at 0, I can take some health damage to let my shield recharge. If I have very low health, but my shield is full, I can shield and let my healers heal me. It's a very micromanagement sort of game where you have to play with your health and with your shield. Of course, once you've lost your armor, you just have to back out and try to heal, shield to get as much, to get to a safe position so that heals can heal you. But when you are front tanking, when you are front lining like this, you can face tank some damage to let your shield recharge if you have to. I believe you guys got this point anyway. Just shatter them. Just shatter them. Like, we are at 90, just shatter them. Just shatter everyone. You went a little bit too far forward, but it's fine. So you're fine, this is fine. You got this. You got this. So, thus far, the biggest mistake I've seen is charging very long distances. Don't do that. What I mean, by the way, is on this point, right? You can come main. This is a choke you can push. You can come here. This is a choke you can push with Reinhardt. But also, the choke has natural choke points that you can use for Reinhardt. So far as you are holding one of these, then Reinhardt is pretty good, right? Because his shield can block the entire point. So far as you want to hold main, you can hold this choke with Rein. You can hold this with Rein. It's a lot better for Reinhardt overall. Let's go back to look at you. No need to fight. Like, again, no one's gonna be on the point yet. You did it twice. You did this on the other map, and you're doing it now. Don't just look around or try to get early. When the fight when the map just begins, there's not gonna be anyone there. If you 5-strike this way instead, you can probably get more shatter charge. 5-strike is your tool to get shatter, so don't just throw it where there's no one. Like, getting a couple guaranteed shots is better than maybe getting 100 damage on someone on point. So always try to use it to get charged. I like this. You're playing around these. You could be playing inside as well because they are going this way. So at this point, I would just look around and try to get them. Right? Yeah. This is fine. Play with the cover. This is unlucky. It's difficult, but again, we have to push into them at some point. I like this. You have to back out though. Play with cover again. Cover. No need to face tank right now. I'm fine with you. Like, we can wait a second before going in. The point unlocks in 6 seconds. And it takes like a few seconds to capture. So we don't have to push into them without our full resources. With Rein, we really do want to push the point because look at this. The point is very close, very short range. So playing with Reinhardt here is really good because you can just hammer everyone. Instead, playing here in the open is not ideal because not only do they have several angles they can shoot at us from, but also there's not as much cover. Like, maybe you can block this, but they can still go around. On the other hand, if you play on point, like, what are they gonna do about that? We are slowly moving to point, but again, we have no shield. And we just give away the point. Which is fine. Like, I'd rather you win the fight and lose the point than we take the point first and die at 10% and lose the fight. Good pin again, but a little too long, and I think he got bubbled. I think you could have... I do believe you could have aimed it at one of the entrances to the point. Let me just... Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can tell you what I mean. Here, right? You are aiming the pin, you can aim it here and here. Instead, you aim it at the point, and you go way too far inside. But if you, like, the angle is perfect to charge him into this wall. And if you're here, you've got this, you can shield it, you can hammer it, right? You can still frontline if you end up here. If you end up in the middle of the entire enemy team, then your shield is basically useless because they can shoot you from behind, and you cannot do as much damage. So instead of aiming for this long pin, aim for shorter pins, right? That's basically all I mean when I say that. Because ending up here is great positioning, right? Not only are you maybe getting a pick on the Doomfist, but it's still safe. Here is not safe. You can even aim here because you jump this way before pinning. If you want to aim here, that's fine as well. But don't just go into the point. You're just gonna die. Short pin good, long pin bad, yeah. You are almost dead, but your Moira is using call. Maybe winnable. You die. That's okay. You could have prevented your death, but I'm fine with it. Like, hold on, let me look at your perspective. They got point, right? We pin. Look at this. Look at your health, by the way. It's gonna go down a lot. You get hooked, you have to shield out, you lose like 300 health, and you are still being healed. And we are still taking damage, and the Mois are gonna have to call to keep us alive. And look at this management, right? You have a ton of shield, you don't have enough health. Just shield for a second here. Why are we swinging? Don't take the swing, you can just shield. You've got Paul coming for you. So you can heal. Just heal. Hold your shield. Because both Zarya and Rothu can do a lot of damage to you. So just hold your shield until you get some health back. Instead you chase the Zarya a little too far. And the Rothu is shooting at you and the Baptiste is shooting at you. And you just get melted. Again, remember, if you don't have armor, you can get melted very fast. Like under 300 health. Under 300 health means you can get melted very, very quickly right now. So, if you have your shield, if you have good shield and low health, just shield to recover health. Your Moira was even calling, so. If he had killed the Baptiste, maybe it would have been winnable, but probably not. They don't have a healer, so. The Moira's coming back and takes better points. We regroup. There's no reason to. If you're in comms, tell them to group up. If not, spam group up. They tell us fight. We are just giving them free percentage because we have to regroup. Especially on this kind of point, there's no way we can take it. Don't go in. Don't go in. What are you doing this? Just wait here for your team or wait here for your team. Yeah, that's good. Pin him. Pin him. Pin him. Alpha Range, tape the shift key down. Ah, man. It's not about not charging. It's about charging effectively. Taking short charges that do the same amount of damage that long charges, it's the same amount of damage, but you end up in a safe position and you can get a free kill, but you are safe. It's the most important part. This is Prodigal's fight as well. We just have to regroup. We are just trickling in one by one. We go out. I'm fine with this. Just hold, wait here. Don't poke. Why are we poking? Like, what's the reason to poke? You're getting hooked and punched. Just play here until the team is here. Like, there is no reason for you to poke. You are not a poke character. You want to wait until the time to engage, right? Once you are ready to engage, you go and you try to kill people as fast as you can. But until then, there is no reason to poke. Punch, poked, kill. All because you couldn't wait here, by the way. You really, play more with cover. Wait until the right time to go. Because if your team is not here, like, we are still missing like 3 people. Why are we poking? Let's look at you. Pinning out, I'm fine with this. Just remember they have no one behind it. This is actually about the window. I was gonna say we have to be careful about it, but it's just about window. I don't know where we're going this way when our team was main. Like, hold on. Our entire team is here. Why are you going here? You are supposed to be the face. Go with your team. These are free shatter, by the way. They don't have shields. You gotta watch out for the Zarya bubbles, but look at this. You guys shatter all of them. I hope you do. I would have just shattered, like... You could have gotten everyone here. You were here, just shatter them. You can still shatter them, like, look at this. Nice. A little late, just a little late, but nice. Don't charge, by the way. What you do is you swing, you fire strike, you swing, then you can charge if you want to. That's unfortunate. I like the shatter, but they use ults in return. But it's fine, like, we use only shatter and we got, by using shatter, we got the soldier ult out, visor, we got cold, we got coalescence, we got the emo. By only using shatter, and now we beat in response, but that's fine. Hold your shield because they have the auto aim. You're probably gonna die anyway. Yeah, because they use cold, you're probably gonna die anyway. But it's probably winnable because, again, they use every ult they have. And now we are using ults. So it's maybe winnable. And it's easy also last fight. Which I believe, yeah. I was gonna say it's probably not gonna end right here. It's a one fight though. We won the fight. They're coming back, this is fine. Don't stand in the open. Again, don't waste Fire Strike. Fire Strike is your ult to build your tool to build your ult, so don't just throw it out there when it's not gonna hit anyone. I'm fine with that one. Like, at least you see 2 people here, so you're like, okay, maybe I can get someone. It wasn't the best, but I'm fine with you throwing it if you think you can get someone. That's a better Fire Strike if you can, yeah. We still, I think yeah. I was gonna say, there's no way we didn't hit. He got bubble, which is fine. We got him to use bubble. Good job not turning around. Like, Doomfist going behind us is not our business. We have to hold the front line. We have a Zarya, we have our own Doomfist, we have a Lucio, we have a Moira. They can deal with the Doomfist behind us. Now that's a problem with the front line, though. The Hoggold. But again, Widow just popped off, so that's good. And we just grabbed, so it's a 1-5. Just hammer swing. Nice. Moving forward, that's nice, that's good enough. Again, good Fire Strike, you hit people, or at least you're trying to hit people. And the Widow just popped off, okay. Good job, Widow, that's a very good Widow. And probably not a Smurf. She just had a good fight. Don't play in the open. Hold the choke, hold the corner. Like, corners are so important. Basically what a corner is an unlimited shield. This is an unlimited health shield. By just standing here, they cannot shoot you. They have to walk here to shoot you. So cover is really good. Let me explain the concept of holding corners. So you hold this corner, right? We hold here. If they want to push into us, first you can hammer them. Secondly, if you're here and you shield, half of your shield is going to be inside the wall, which means they can only shoot this little bit rather than your entire shield. And thirdly, if they want to shoot at you in return, they have to move past this, right? Because basically by being behind the corner, they cannot shoot you from here. So if they move past this line, you can both shield, and also they are very exposed because they have no cover. So you can go at them. They are also in range for your hammer, but it's really good. Just hold corners. Holding corners is the best thing I can advise you to do. Because basically what you're doing is, by holding here, right, by holding this corner, you are holding all of this space for free. Hold on, let's make it like this. By holding here, you are holding all of this space by doing nothing. And you can also push with your shield and hold more space if you have to, but you're going to be at full health. Instead, by holding here, you are holding this space, which, yeah, it's a little bit more space, but it's damaging your shield. So you cannot hold this forever. And also, they can shoot at you from long range, right? If you're playing here, they cannot shoot at you. They have to push past this line of the corner to shoot at you. Right? So once they push past the line, you can use your shield if you have to, you can Fire Strike. You can also Fire Strike this way, from the corner, just peek and Fire Strike. But the idea is that by holding here, they have to push into our team to actually get value, because they are not going to break the cover, right? There's no way they break the cover. That would be a good idea for an Overwatch character, though, like a character that could break the cover. But they're not going to break it. So by standing here, it basically means like, hey, you've got to get into my hammer's range to shoot me. And if they go this way, and you're playing here, then all you can do is you can just swap corners to this corner, right? And again, they cannot see you, so they have to push. And very slowly, you go from corner to corner. Kingsoul 3rd is actually a very good... Kingsoul in general is a very good example of corner holding. So I may go to... After this, I may just go to Kingsoul to show you what I meant. Please do remind me. Good shield. Not great charge. Again, I want you to charge. Take a short charge if you are guaranteed to get a pin. If you don't think you can get a pin and you're just throwing it out there to see if something happens, don't. Because it makes you vulnerable. Like, very vulnerable. That's, again, I don't like this. Hold the front line. Hold the front line. If people are going to point, don't rush at them. Like, there's 2 people on point, and we got 2 people going on point. But look at these 2, right? They're overextending a little bit, But ideally, you want to hold the front line rather than the back line, because you are the front line of the team. Still, you probably, like, this you will probably die. You got a pick though, that's okay, and you can probably kill the monkey. So I'm fine with it, but if these two die, it's gonna be difficult. Okay, you got value anyway, that's fine. They never push you, basically. If they have pushed you, that would have been a problem. Because, well, they push you while there was no front line. So Moira could have died, and Doomfist could have died very easily. But they didn't push you, so you're fine. Just keep in mind that at high ranks, they will probably push you. Teams will go coordinate. Teams will coordinate their pushes, and they will probably get more value than just like 2 people going to point and everyone else doing nothing. Playing inside is really good for Rein, of course. Good fire strike, you get value. You get a pick, nice. Shield the Widow, that's fine. Widow's dead, we can go back to the corner, right? Instead of holding here, we just take 2 steps back to the corner. And your team is gonna play behind you. Hold on. Your team is always gonna play behind you. You are going to be the point of reference for your team. And that's why it is so important that you know about holding corners. Because if you hold the corner, your team is gonna hold behind you. If you hold here, your team is gonna hold here. Right? Because your team is always going to be like, people gravitate towards the Reinhardt, right? When you're playing Reinhardt, people always gravitate towards the Reinhardt, be it the enemies or being the allies. Everyone is focused on the Reinhardt's positioning. So if you play here, your team is out of position as well. But if you play here, your team is safe. Shield that. That's unlucky. You can't do a lot about it. You can shatter him now that he dropped. But he just died. 94, 95, 96. Shatter the ball behind you. Like, we got 2 picks. If we kill the ball and prevent it from getting value, we can just win this fight. That's a good bit. Just shatter him. Just shatter him. You can kill him if you shatter him. Just shatter the call now. Like, it's last fight. 99-99. So don't hold onto your ult. Just use it whenever you have the chance. Don't worry about the immortality. It's not your job. Because you don't have the range for it. If you are in grab, just either hold the shield or shatter whoever's doing damage at you. And shattering is usually the better option. Late should have been a lot earlier because now you're low on health and your team is already dying. You took a lot of damage from it. It's the right idea, you just took a long time to do it because you were focusing the emo. So I do think you could have won that fight. But I'll get out of here, please don't. Okay. Too long to read. You could have shattered earlier. You could have even killed the ball faster, stopped the Moira coalescence, gotten the Zarya down. You could have stopped them from doing damage to you, basically. This fight is maybe lost. They don't have a Moira, but we don't have a Widow and we don't have heals. I'm like, this charge it's 99 to 99, so I'm fine with you charging a long way because you have to get your point, and getting a pick would be amazing. So I'm fine with that one. Just holding shield is fine. Trying to kill people is fine. Yeah, I think that fight was lost after the grab call. So let's go to the 3rd point. Okay, so again, Rein is good on this point again because you've got some chokes you can hold. You can hold this choke, you can hold this choke, you can hold this choke, right? No matter what, you can hold chokes that they have to come through. Really need to work on my mechanics. I think your mechanics have been okay. I think the positioning is the biggest thing right now. Keep in mind, like, playing cover more also means that you will have your shield available most of the time. And Rein isn't that mechanics heavy either. So I think you'll be fine. Again, no need to look around you. We are just coming off of the spawn. Fire strike something at long range. Try to get value. Didn't aim, but that's fine. Like, if you had thrown it here, you would probably have gotten Zarya. It's okay though. don't say hello. You basically just gave them 143 damage by saying hello rather than shielding. 200 damage by saying hello rather than healing. No need to shield here. Like, what are we shielding? Doomfist? We cannot shield Doomfist. What we should be doing is moving to the choke, right? The cold tank came for a reason. We hold the choke. We are good at holding chokes, so we hold the choke. If Rotho pushes us, we swing at him, we throw Fire Strike, we shield everything else. Right? You can even charge him if you really want to, because this is a short charge. Hold the choke. Don't just stand in the open. Long charge for no reason. You really want to play the front line, and this is taking you away from the front line. So not a good charge. I think you're just being seduced by the idea of killing the Doomfist, and you're just chasing him around. Doomfist is not your job. If you want to deal with Doomfist, go Rotho, right? Rotho can deal with Doomfist. But with Rein, no need to charge that. I'm fine with it, short charge, but it's basically wasting the cooldown because there was no way you could get anyone. So it's not gonna kill you, but we did just waste the cooldown. Fire Strike, oh, we don't have it. Our Widow is still really good, by the way. Fine with that, you can kill the Bab. That's fine, we let the Bab go, we go to the front line, right? Go to the front line, this is fine. No need to look around so much. And by the way, you don't have to drop your shield to look around. You can hold your shield and look around without dropping it. I'll show you. Like, if you hold right click and then look around. If you hold right click and left click, you can look around without having to drop your shield. That's a good Fire Strike if you have it. Yeah, Fire Strike that. That's okay. Shield the choke. There's no need. I noticed that you're turning around a lot. Is there a reason you do that? Because you're basically exposing yourself to the enemy for a second. Just focus on the front line. This is fine, we can kill the Rotho. I'm fine with it. Again, unfortunate ping. This is not a bad pin, but only pin if you're guaranteed to pin them. In this case, he was a little bit too far away, so you probably couldn't have pinned him. Just try to kill him, this is fine. Heal too, you shield. He's dead, nice. Long pin, no reason, like, you're never gonna get these pins. Because they can just sidestep you, right? That's not a great Fire Strike because there's one. I know about this is here, but like it's only one and he's backing out, so you're not gonna get him. Fire Strike the tanks instead. Again, I don't know why you keep looking back behind you and exposing your back to the enemy. Is there a reason you're doing that? Like not this, you are actually like, literally turning around 180. As soon as the bubble drop, we got a free shatter. Shatter him, just shatter him. Oh, don't charge that. Oh, I thought you were charging. I'm fine with the shatter. You get him, so he's got no value from his ultimate. Sorry about what? Turning around? That's why I'm here, to tell you what to do and what not to do. I'm just asking if there's an actual reason you are doing that. Like if maybe you are playing with the joystick and there's just a button that turns you around, so you just use it a lot. I'm just actually asking, genuinely asking if there's a reason for it, or you just do it because you think you can help with the backline, which is not your. Again, with Rein, you are basically the front line of the team, so the backline is not exactly your concern. Oh no! Oh no! No, that's a bad one. That's a bad one. Don't do that. I don't need to coach you about that one. You know that you know what you did bad. Aim before you can aim your charges. By the way, if you are usually going to go where you have your mouse cursor point at. So if you are aiming here, you will charge here. If you are aiming here, you will charge here. You can aim your charges. That's just unfortunate. Let's move on. Cause I got a new mouse and it feels good. Don't do that. All I'm gonna say is don't do it. If you want to try like Diva is a really good hero to do that kind of stuff. Look behind you, but charge him. Just charge him. Like this is, I'm fine with you having. I would have been fine with you just charging him to point, because this is a lost fight, right? And during a lost fight, I'm usually thinking, well, what can I do to get value? And what I would have wanted to gotten value is I would have attempted to charge the monkey and gotten like, I don't know, like 35% ulcers from the charge, right? It's last fight, so I would have been like, I'm gonna charge the monkey, stop him from annoying my team. Yes, I'm gonna die on point and I'm fine with it, but at least I'm gonna hammer a few people and I'm gonna maybe kill someone and I'm gonna get a lot of ult charge. And again, this is a lost fight, so just swing. Just swing. Like, look, our team is dead. Just swing and get value and fire strike. Use your cooldowns and get value. Good pin. That's a good pin. You can probably kill him. Nice. So that's a great pick. Unfortunately, we cannot push yet because we are still missing people, and the monkey can come back very fast. But you did get like 50% ult charge off of that. So we need to play defensive here because again, our team is not with us. We are playing in the open, which is not ideal. And we shouldn't be like, okay, let me just... So, you are here, Lucius here, Moira's here. The rest of the team is all the way here, that's our Widow, our Reaper is dead, and our Monkey is all the way here. So, there's no one with you. Like, the Moira is close, just a little too far away to kill you, so it's basically just you and Lucio. And Moira soon, but you're basically going in 3v5. So just wait for your team to all be there before going in. I'm okay with this. If you're gonna go in, just right away. This is a great charge. I don't know if you charge here, but I would just press shift because there's a chance you get him, there's a chance you get him, and it's short, right? It ends here. And it allows me to back out. So I would just charge that. I don't think you had the time, you got booped, but I would have charged that. Our monkey's dead. We cannot go in yet. We should back out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 ultimates. They have none. We should just back out and take a new fight. And there's no reason to pin them this time. Just die and regroup with your team. Even if you kill them, ball comes back really fast. Group up, but look at where you are. You said group up, and I heard it, but look at where you are. You are in the open, you are past choke, right? This is safety. Behind this post is safe, but you are in the open, with only a Lucio and a Reaper, and your Moira is dead. So group up, but you need to back out yourself. You cannot group up here. That's a great pick from the Reaper. So you know what? Now might be a good time to go. Because your Widow is sidelines. We can see how many people are on the point. Reaper's here, so... You said group up, Monkey's ready, right? We have 5 people, and Moira should be here soon. It's a great time to go, because we got a pick. Let's go, yeah, go. Shatter, if you can get one... If you can get another pick off of Shatter, it may be great as well. Like, look at this. You can see them, right? I can see them, you can see them. By the infra side. So shatter the shoe. Nice. You didn't get the Moira, but you got the ulti soldier. And you don't have 5 strikes, so I am fine with you pinning him. You pinning him into the wall, cancelling his ult, and getting a pick is worth it. Your monkey fucked it, but it's fine. 5 strike. 5 strike does more damage and takes less time than swinging. And you can also cancel 5 strike swing. I'll show you how to do that later. But yeah, that was a good shatter. That was a good idea for the pin. Yeah, well, it's his fault, right? Because he was playing in the open a lot. And he was ulting in the middle of the entire team. I mean, in the open in front of your entire team. So you were just like, well, shatter. There's nothing you can do about it. So that's definitely on the soldier. He should be on the flank if he's gonna ult like that. Your team's got the point, you're trying to stop them from touching, and you probably are going to stop them from touching. Swing at the Tracer, by the way. Like, we have full health, we have full shield. Just swing at her. Try to stop them from touching. Just swing. You could have swung earlier, but they don't get point anyway. And you won. That was actually pretty close. But basically, I really want to focus on playing with cover and corners, right? That's gonna change your entire playstyle a little bit, but it's also gonna get you so much more value. Hold on, let me go to, where is my mouse? There it is. Let's create a custom game. By the way, I'm on the EU servers, I think, so it's gonna be the laggiest game ever. Let's move me to spectator settings. Where's skirmish? Skirmish, okay. Maps, none. Where's kings? Kings row. Let's go. Start. I could throw some bots in there to better showcase what I mean, but it should be okay anyway. So, King's Row is actually an amazing point to play with corners, right? It's actually a really good point to showcase how holding corners work. So, you know why a lot of people hold here, they hold here, they hold here? This is because these are basically corners that you can control. And King's Row is very good at letting you go from corner to corner, right? So if you start here, this is a Reinhardt choke, right? So you play here, and when people try to get at you, you swing, you shoot, you swing. This is not the ideal one. Like, a lot of people just start here, which is better. Starting here is better. But if you have like a Mei who can just cut off the choke, then you can play here, and when someone pushes, you Mei wall and you kill them. But basically, this is a Reinhardt choke. If people try to push into you, let's get it from above. If you are holding here and people try to push, you can swing at them, right? You can just swing at them for free. And you don't have to waste your shield, you just have to wait for them to push. You can also poke and throw a fire strike and get back in cover. And so long as you're behind this, let's ban that. Hold on, sorry, I need to get rid of the spammers. Okay. So by holding here, right, you're basically controlling this entire area. Because they have to push into you through the choke, and you get free swings with the hammer. Your shield doesn't take any damage, so when the fight starts, you have a full shield, you have full health, right? You don't have to stand in the choke. All you have to do is wait for them to push. Then you can swing, you can fire strike, you have your whole shield, and if you have to back out, because maybe they are winning the fight, you back out to this corner, right? And you can hold your shield. And again, because from here, they cannot see you behind this corner, you move to another safe area. So you basically went from here, that was safe, to here, which is safe, right? This is why a lot of people play here, because if you stick to the wall, then they cannot see you, they have to get close to you again. And this is, once more, another Reinhardt choke. Because you can push into it, it's not as evident as this one, because this is very marked, and this is the one a lot of people have problem pushing past. But this is also a Reinhardt choke, right? So if they want to push into you this way, well, you can swing at them for free, you can fire strike this way, you can shield, your shield should have a lot of health, should have a lot of, you should be able to hold it for a long time, right? And if they push past you, you can go to the next corner. This is the next corner. And again, if you're holding here, and people push into the point, they cannot see you unless they push very deep, right? Like again, they have to push here to see you, where they don't have cover. So the idea is, by holding the corners, you have cover, infinite health shield basically. When they push, and basically force you out of the cover, you move to the next one. But they are in the open, they don't have that cover. So if they push at you, then your team can do a lot of damage, because they have no cover. And the same happens here, right? If they push you out, then you have cover here, and they have to stand on the point here to shoot you, where they have no cover, and you can shield, and you can just kill them. But if you're here and your team is here, they can't. Hold on, let me get a new angle for this. If you're here, right? If you're standing here and you hold the shield, then they cannot shoot your team. They have to, if they want to shoot, what they have to do is they have to walk past this all the way here to maybe get a clear shot, or here if they want to shoot your backline, and they're very, very exposed. So your team can just shoot at them for free. So the idea is move corner to corner. The same happens here, right? This is why King Show is really good for Reinhardt. Now you can hold this choke. And by holding this choke, well, if they want to control any of this space, they have to push through the choke into you. And you basically just being here controls all of this area. Right? And they have to push into you, you can swing, you can hammer, and as they try to push into the choke, they don't have any cover, and your team has all of the cover. So your team is in a much better position. The same happens here. If you hold this corner, again they have to push into you through the open. And you can swing, you can fire strike, and you can use your shields here. And most of your engages will have full shield and full health, because you are playing here, and your team is playing here, right? Or maybe here, if you are shielding this way. So if you're holding shield and your team is playing here, they can shoot for free, but they cannot be shot. And the same happens on this corner, which is not as good, because those who have more cover, at the very least I can tell you that if you play more with cover, you will always win the Rein war. Like, you know how you have a war to see who loses the shield first? If you play with cover more than the other Rein does, you will always have more shield than he does. The same happens here. Another corner, not as good, because by playing here they can still get this. Like, you are not controlling, maybe you are controlling this, so maybe they can push here, so this is not as ideal. That's why a lot of teams just hold here, and if you have to, you go back all the way here, because again, this is another corner where just being here controls all of this area, and they have to push into you with no cover. This is not ideal, again, because if you have to hold here, right, this is a meh corner, because yeah, you control this area, but they can move this way and shoot this way. So think about it this way: if you can hold a corner and you can control the area where they would shoot at you from, then they basically have to push into you to hold it. Because if they want to shoot at you, they have to go past this line, which basically means they are literally standing in the open. The same happens here. This is a very good corner again, right? Because again, if you are holding here, then you have control of this, and they have to push into you to shoot you, right? I'm just explaining corner by corner, but this is also similar, but not as good. Because yeah, if you're holding here, then you can get this, but also they can go this way and they can shoot behind you anyway because it's very open. Well, there's no corners here. Maybe this, but not as good because again, very wide. But yeah, if you find one of those chokes that you can really make good work of, just by standing here, like, yeah, I'm just gonna stand here and swing my hammer all the time. And if someone comes my way, I'm just gonna kill them. And setting up on these chokes also lets you try those short charges a lot, because you can always, if you really think you can do it, you can always take short charges into the choke walls. Because like here too, here's not as good, but if you're playing here and you want to charge into this wall, you can do it. Again, the problem here is that you are exposing yourself, and it's difficult to get back to cover. If you're playing here, you can also do it. You can charge people into this wall. If you're playing here, I would not recommend it because this is longer, right? And this one is okay if you want to try it, but again, it's very risky. But if you're playing here, you can try to take a short charge here. This one's very long, don't do it. But yeah, that's basically why you play corners with Rein. It allows you to control a lot more space without putting your shield at risk. Something I often tell people is to think how you would play Reinhardt if you had no shield, right? If you had no shield, you wouldn't be standing here in the open and holding your shield. If you had no shield, you would be playing here. Because, well, you're not gonna get shot. If you have no shield, you have to play here. But if you play like you had no shield, then you're gonna have full shield when the engagement actually happens. But yeah, that's probably as far as this one's gonna go. What are the maps for Rein? So, a lot of maps have both very open or several angles you can take. I feel like maps with very long sidelines with very many angles are usually the worst for Reinhardt. So if I go to maybe like, let me give me the cursor game. There we go. So if I go to maybe... Why did I leave the game? I could have just swapped them up. Skirmish. Maps. Let's go to Havana, which is probably the best example I can think of. Move me to specs. Move me to spectators. There we go. So I could just list them, but it's probably easier if I explain it. So bad maps for Reinhardt are maps where the enemy team can play from several different angles. Because Reinhardt is really good at holding one angle, but if they have several angles, then you are kind of fucked. Imagine you are holding here, right? Well, they can come this way, they can come this way, they can shoot from here, they can go around, right? It's very difficult to hold maps where they can shoot you from a lot of directions. And keep in mind, high ground is also an angle, right? If they play on the high ground, hold on, where is it? That means that they can shoot past your shield, because if your shield is here, they can still shoot everything behind it, right? So maps with a lot of high ground and maps with a lot of angles are the worst for Reinhardt. So that's why people don't play Reinhardt on Gibraltar, because there's a lot of high ground and a lot of angles. Hanamura is okay for Rein, but really bad if the enemy team knows what they're doing, because they can just play several angles and kill you. Like double sniper is actually the meta composition for Havana. I'm thinking of maybe Anubis is really bad for Reinhardt. Well, Anubis' first point is really bad for Reinhardt, because you cannot do anything from that little high ground that you can set up on. And if you're on attack, you cannot get to that high ground. I'm thinking... let me look at the list. It's probably... Cursor, please. Cursor, please. Overwatch? Thank you. Show lobby. Settings. Maps. Blizzard World is okay, because you have chokes. There's not that much high ground. Busan, if you're playing Mecha Base is really good for Reinhardt. The other two are meh to pretty bad. Sanctum is really bad for Reinhardt, because there's a lot of different routes you can take. And the more routes you can take, the more angles you can take, the worse it is for Reinhardt. So Sanctuary is actually really bad for Reinhardt. Downtown is okay, but again, you can play like 3 different angles very easily if you go Mega, High Ground, and Point. So it can make it very difficult. Eichenwald is really good for Rein, because you have one big choke and people have to get through it. The Rad is pretty good because of the same reason. There are a couple flanks, but if you play in the choke, then you can probably make it work. Hanamura, really good for Rein. Hollywood, pretty okay for Rein. Yeah, just pretty good for Rein. Horizon, not as good for Rein. Oh, I'm one big. Horizon, not really good for Rein, because it has a lot of high ground, right? Illios, we just went over it. Jankertan, really bad for Reinhardt, because Jankertan is another sniper map, so you've got a lot of long sidelines with multiple angles that you can take, and Rein can only hold one and not that good. So again, maps with long sidelines and tons of angles are really bad for Reinhardt. Lijiang, Control Center, the one that's inside, is really good for Reinhardt. Night Market is okay for Reinhardt, because if you get to hold the point, then you can actually hold the point with the chokes and everything. But if you have to push, it becomes really difficult. Nepal, Village is really good for Reinhardt. Sanctum is really bad for Reinhardt. And the other one is the one with the drum in the middle, Shrine. Shrine is pretty okay for Rein. Numbani is really bad for Rein. Third point, Rein's okay. But first or second, there's so much high ground that it can be really difficult to make Rein work. Oasis, University is really good for Reinhardt, because you've got, like on Oasis, you got the point here, and you got the entrances here. This is a wall, right? And you got the flank this way, so you can play main, or you can play the flank, or you can play the high ground on the other side. So there are not that many options, and you can really push the point. What else? Numbani, Oasis. Paris' first point is really bad for Reinhardt, because of the same reason that Anubis. That little high ground means that if you drop, you cannot get back up, and you cannot swing at people as they come through. So Paris first is really bad for Rein. Paris second is okay. Rialto is really good for Rein, because... there you go. Rialto is really good for Reinhardt, because it has those tight corridors all the way through. So you can really hold the choke there. Root is... meh. Third point is really good. Second point is kinda bad. First point defense is pretty solid if you can push main, because you can actually hold or push main pretty okay. But better teams will just hold the high ground and shoot at you from above. You will not be able to do a lot. And Novice, really, really bad for Rein. Well, second point is okay, because you have that one big choke. Paris still in comp? I don't think so. I don't think neither Paris or Horizon Lumiere Colony are in competition right now. In competitive right now. And Novice on second point, that's fine, because you've got the chokes. So it's fine on second, but on first point it's really bad for the same reason. I'll actually show you in a moment. Let's just put that on and turn everything else off. Let's go to Novice. Well, Sky is really good because you can hold the choke, the same thing. Yeah, they're not in comp. So yeah, Boskaya, you can just hold the choke on main. Gibraltar's really bad because of all the high points. And these are not maps. So let's go to Anubis and show you what I mean. Maps, none, give me Anubis. Restart. We go. So the reason Rein is really bad on Paris and Anubis is that from here you cannot do anything, right? And if you're playing here, you also cannot do anything. You can make some rotations, like if you're playing attack, you can do this rotation and maybe clear the high ground, but getting through this choke is very difficult. And if you're just standing here on defense, you cannot do anything. You have to hold your shield up for your team, and you are getting no value. You would be getting more value with a Orisa segment, right? Because all you can do is hold the shield. So the problem with Rein is that you cannot climb this. If you have to drop to get close to the enemy team, then you cannot get back up, and you're basically fucked. If you are playing on aggressively on the offense, you cannot climb this. So if the enemy team is holding here, you cannot get to them, and Reinhardt really, really wants to get through them. And you can try to make this rotation, but if they got a lot of spam, they will damage you here, they will damage you here, they will damage you here, and you're probably going to end up engaging with very few resources. So yeah, that's why you don't play Reinhardt on maps like this, that have like this little high ground that Rein cannot access, because you just cannot do anything. Like neither on defense nor on offense, is it worth it to try to go with Rein? The only action I would recommend is if you have an entire team that's committed to brawling, like you have a Reinhardt, a Zarya, a Mei, a Reaper, a Lucio, and a Moira, right? If you have this kind of brawl team, then you can speed here, you can run into them, and you can clear the high ground. That's very effective, actually. So this is the one time I would recommend playing Reinhardt on those type of maps for like offense. Definitely not on defense. But if you're playing the offense, you can make this rotation really fast with Lucio, and you can get people off the high ground, or you can just kill them. But if you're not playing a brawl like this with Lucio, because it's impossible without Lucio, then it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's very, very difficult to make Reinhardt work on this. Like, I usually play Sigma here on offense, because with Sigma, I can just stand behind the pillar, right? I can just, there you go. I can just stand behind the pillar, I can spam, I can move forward here, I can spam from here, I can just spam from anywhere I want to, and I can just play slow until our team gets a pick. Or even Monkey. Monkey's really good actually as well, because Monkey can get up, then you go back down, then you go back up, then you go back down. How can I still hold the first point with Rein? It's very, very difficult. It's so difficult. Like, I would definitely not recommend playing Rein on defense here. The only advantage you have by playing Rein here is if the enemy team goes this way, right? If the enemy team tries to go this way every time, then you can try holding this choke, and when they push into you, they have to push into your choke. But that's the only way Rein can get value in this map. By standing here, right, when they start making the rotation, you cannot do any damage to them. So Sigma would be better, or Orisa would be better, right? And so you cannot do damage at them with the rotate, you cannot do damage at them here, and you have to wait at the choke. You have no longer damage. So Rein is just not very good. The only thing I would recommend, if you have an Orisa who can hold this, and you just play behind the Orisa and go in to substitute the Orisa shield when it's necessary, throw 5 strikes and hold this, then maybe, but even then Sigma is just better at this case. Rein is just not good on Anubis. Definitely not on defense, and on offense, he's... this is the only rotation you can make work, and you need a Lucio, and you need a team that will go with you and brawl. But other than that, I would recommend against playing Rein here. On second, yeah, like on second, if you want to play on second, you've got like every choke available on second, right? Because this is a Rein choke. This is a Rein choke. Let me go back. This is basically a Rein choke. This is a Rein choke. This is a Rein choke. I have to keep looking around. This is a Rein choke. Like on second, Rein is actually pretty solid because there's a lot of chokes you can use, like for corners. Corner, 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 right? This corner for this point, I mean. So yeah, on second, Rein's pretty solid. On first though, Rein's pretty bad. Orisa should, and honestly my favorite hero for this map is Sigma, because I can play behind these, or I can play behind these, and spam at them as they rotate, and if they try to go this way, I can just stand here and spam, and when they push, I keep moving backwards and spam, and all the time my DPS are just getting free value from their shots. So yeah, I really like Sigma at this point. Because she's got the range that Rein doesn't have. If Rein had like any range at all, then you could probably make it work. But I think Rein will ready to high ground. You mean this one? Or taking this long rotation? Because yeah, you can technically make this rotation as well. If this is the high ground you want to clear. Like if they're playing Ana and Ashe here, maybe, and you're like, I want to get them out of there. Like, yeah, you can take the rotation and clear this high ground instead. You can go this way and you can clear this high ground. It's the same concept, but you don't usually want to clear this high ground because most of the team will be here. Most of the enemy team will be here, right? But yeah, you can still make this rotation and you have to coordinate it with your entire team, and then you can drop the point. And the problem with dropping the point is that, again, they are shooting at you from the high ground and you have no way of countering that. So it's still very difficult because, of course, the Ashe is going to drop and the Ashe is going to drop. They're going to run to their team as soon as they see you coming. I'm glad. Yeah, you mentioned that. It's okay. But yeah, coordinating is very hard. That's why I don't recommend trying to make the rotations with Rein. They can work, especially in higher ranks. If you think you can get the Ashe here and clear off the high ground, or get the Ana and clear off the high ground and drop to point and do a lot of damage, right? That can work on high ranks. But it's very difficult on plat because you really need the entire team to go together. And it's honestly a lot easier to get value from like jumping in with Monkey or spamming with Orisa or Sigma. And honestly, I think Orisa is like the worst tank to play right now. But she is better on defense on this point than the Rein is. But yeah, basically, don't play Rein on defense. On offense, maybe, if you've got a Lucio, maybe you can make it work. But on defense, never. Like, actually never. You're better off playing like Diva or Zarya, or no, don't play Zarya or Orisa. Zarya is pretty bad. Sigma is, again, my favorite to play here. Roadhog is solid because with Roadhog you can just contest the off angles very easily. But yeah, just anyone but Rein on defense. Okay, let's call the game there for today. Thank you for stopping by. As usual, I will make highlights out of all of these, and I will post them in my Discord, so you can go back and check there later. And I just make highlights because they don't get deleted after 30 days. No problem. And do let me know how it works out for you. Like, try it out, try playing more corners, and do let me know how it works out for you. But yeah, this is probably going to be it for today because my voice is sharp. Have a good one.